Today's story is called Giraffes Can't Dance. Where would you find a giraffe?
At the zoo.
Maybe at the zoo. Could you have a giraffe as a pet? Is a giraffe domesticated or is it wild?
Why?
It is wild. You could not have a giraffe as a pet.
It's really long and it will break the ceiling.
It could break the ceiling, you're right. What do you guys think? You think it could break the ceiling if you brought it in your house? I think Caden might be right. For those of you that don't know, this is my son Caden. He is a 4-year-old preschooler at Chesterbrook, and he is home with me for this week. His little brother Nolan, who is 1.5, is currently sleeping. So we're going to get ready to read our story. As we read our story, I want you to think about how Gerald feels when the other animals are making fun of him. After we're done reading, you are going to think about a time that you felt the same way, and you're going to share with an adult in your household or a sibling or child in your household. You ready to read, Kate?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's take a look at the front cover of the story. What is Gerald doing?
Dancing.
Yeah, it looks like Gerald is dancing or flipping in the air. Giraffes Can't Dance is the title of the story. The author is Gerald Andrea. The author writes the words. And the illustrator is Guy Parker Reese. The illustrator...
He paints the book.
He draws the beautiful pictures. You're right. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin.
I already saw one.
Thin means they're skinny.
I'm seeing the monkey.
He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees.
Let me see it.
When you buckle at the knees, it means you fall down. See? Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. What other animals do you see in the picture?
Zebras.
See some zebras, elephants, rhinos, giraffe, lions. All of these animals are wild.
Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Cheetah.
The warthogs started waltzing,
Warthogs.
and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold.
These are warthogs. Okay. I will show you what the whole.
Yes, they are warthogs. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Can you help me count the baboons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked toward the floor, but the lions saw him coming and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald!" the animals all sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool! Oh, Gerald, you're so weird!"
That's not nice.
How do you think Gerald feels that the animals are saying that to him?
Bad.
Maybe bad, maybe sad. He might be scared, maybe even a little bit angry. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So he crept off the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before, so sad and all alone.
There was rhino and goat.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Then he found a little clearing and looked up at the sky. The moon can be so
That's a
beautiful,
grasshopper.
he whispered with a sigh.
That's a grasshopper.
Excuse me, coughed a cricket who'd seen Gerald earlier on. But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song.
I want to sing.
Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to.
Let me see.
With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. A violin is a type of an instrument, and you use a bow to play it. His hooves, his feet, had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. What is Gerald starting to do? What's he starting to do? He's starting to dance. He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. I am dancing! Yes, I'm dancing! I am dancing, Gerald cried. Look at his face. How does he feel now that he's dancing? He's happy. He's not sad anymore.
That.
Then one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen." How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how. But Gerald simply twirled around and he finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. We all can dance, he said, when we find music that we love. Who helped him to find the music that he loved? Do you remember?
Grasshopper.
The cricket. The cricket helped him. The cricket told him, think about the music in the trees all around, the music that nature provides for us. If you remember in the beginning of the story when his friends were making fun of him, how did it make him feel?
I'm sad.
It made him feel sad. Can you think of a time that you felt sad before? I want you to take a minute to find somebody that's in your house and talk to them about a time that you felt sad. What can you do to make yourself feel happy again? Talk to a family member. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a great afternoon.